In 1976, the Viking 1 spacecraft, launched by NASA to explore Mars, transmitted a series of images to Earth that quickly became a sensation. One of these images showed something incredible, a strange formation on the surface of the red planet that resembled a giant face. Discovered in the Cydonia region, the structure bore a striking resemblance to human features. Eyes, a nose, and even lips were visible. The image was called the Martian face and sparked heated discussions in scientific and public circles. Many researchers, as well as supporters of the idea of extraterrestrial civilizations, suggested that this face could have been created not by nature but by intelligent beings. If so, by whom and why? Was Mars once home to a civilization that sought to leave its mark? Comparisons with majestic monuments on Earth, such as the Egyptian pyramids or the stone heads of Easter Island, which were considered evidence of ancient knowledge and skills, immediately emerged. Over the following years, theories about the Martian face gained great popularity, and dozens of books, articles, and documentaries were devoted to the phenomenon. Over time, a whole mythology emerged around the face in Cydonia. Some researchers suggested that it could be an ancient sanctuary or even a monument built by Martians to show humanity that they existed and possessed advanced technology. Others suspected that it was just an optical illusion, created by the play of light and shadows. However, everything changed in 2001, when the Mars Odyssey orbiter took new, much more detailed images of Cydonia. In these images, the shape of the face did not look so convincing. It seemed that the mysterious face was the result of a play of shadows and angles. NASA officials said that now we can confidently say that the face is a natural formation, and all the features that are visible on it are just a random combination of sand dunes and rocks that visually resemble a human face, only at a certain angle of illumination. However, not everyone agreed with this conclusion. NASA's explanation that the Martian face is just a natural structure sparked a new wave of discussion and criticism. Supporters of the theory of ancient civilizations on Mars insisted that NASA was trying to hide the truth about the possible existence of extraterrestrial life. They pointed out that, despite the more detailed images, the structure retained the proportions of the face, and that the correctness of the shapes could not be accidental. Proponents of the hypothesis that the Martian face was an artificial structure also referred to similar architectural structures on Earth, including monolithic monuments that were built using sophisticated engineering knowledge and may have been intended to convey important messages. In 2024, a research team from the United States conducted another independent study of the Cydonia region. They decided to use the latest modeling technology to re-examine the shape of the face on Mars, taking into account different angles and light conditions. Their results showed that even when the lighting changes, certain parts of the face retain their outlines, and the visual resemblance to human features is undeniable. This study has once again drawn public attention to the Martian anomaly and sparked a new wave of interest. In addition, the team of researchers said they had discovered other anomalous structures nearby, symmetrical lines and rectangular formations that looked too regular for natural objects. In particular, they found something resembling the ruins of a large platform or even a megalithic structure. The researchers suggest that these structures could be the remains of an ancient Martian city or a sacred place where Martians erected their monuments. Of course, there is no definitive evidence that these shapes were created by intelligent beings, but their existence continues to arouse interest among scientists and the public. Perhaps Martian face is only part of a more complex structure that contains hidden information about a possible civilization on Mars. Despite the fact that NASA officials deny the artificial origin of the Martian face, many people continue to believe that a civilization once existed on Mars, which left its mark in the form of mysterious monuments. The question remains, could the face in Cydonia be more than just a natural formation? Could Mars actually have been home to intelligent beings who left their mark so that one day we could find and unravel its meaning? In 2012, when the Curiosity rover first landed in Gale Crater on Mars, it marked the beginning of a new stage in the exploration of the red planet. Gale Crater was not chosen by chance. It contains numerous geological formations that, according to scientists, could preserve traces of ancient Martian life. The geological structure of the crater, which includes layers of sedimentary rocks, allows us to trace the history of Mars over millions of years. This location was chosen to search for possible traces of life because there was probably an ancient lake at the bottom that could have supported microbiological activity. From the very beginning of its mission, Curiosity has sent thousands of images to Earth, and in some of them, scientists have spotted mysterious objects that resemble large vertical monoliths that look like pillars. One of the most discussed objects was the so-called Martian monolith, a tall vertical object that stood out sharply against the flat background of the crater. Its shape looked too regular to be an accidental formation. The researchers who received the first data were intrigued. Some assumed that the monolith was a natural formation, while others believed that it was the result of an intelligent civilization that had left its footprints on Mars. The Martian monolith in Gale Crater resembled Earth's megaliths, such as the pillars of Easter Island or the ancient columns of Stonehenge. This prompted researchers to speculate that perhaps the Martians, if they existed, left similar monuments on their planet. Such structures could have had religious or astronomical significance, similar to many ancient cultures on Earth. Theories about the possible existence of intelligent life on Mars have gained new ground, because as in the case of ancient civilizations on Earth, the presence of such monuments would indicate a high level of development of these beings. The images of the monolith have been analyzed in detail by many experts, and some of them have concluded that the tall rectangular shape of the object is too perfect and aligned with the surrounding landscape, indicating a possible artificial origin. Some scientists have suggested that it could be part of ancient Martian architecture. For example, a stone obelisk built at a time when the atmosphere of Mars still allowed for the existence of water, and possibly even life. Given the harsh conditions on the planet's surface today, such formations could remain as the only evidence of past life. Subsequently, Curiosity transmitted new images in which mysterious shapes continued to appear. In 2024, another monolith was spotted on Mars, which had a similar shape but was located at a considerable distance from Gale Crater. This discovery again caused a lot of speculation among scientists and the public. Once again, the shape of the object looked extremely symmetrical and stood out against the natural landscape. The presence of two similar objects at such a distance from each other attracted the attention of not only scientists, but also conspiracy theorists. Some independent researchers have begun to consider the hypothesis that Martian monoliths may be placed in certain places on the planet as marker points, indicating particularly important locations. They suggest that such a placement scheme could make sense for a civilization that sought to leave signs of its existence or to create landmarks for future visitors to the planet. The idea of marker points also finds parallels in earthly archaeological findings, such as the Nazca lines in Peru or ancient megalithic complexes that had symbolic or practical significance. NASA and other aerospace agencies are in no hurry to draw conclusions about the artificial origin of the monoliths. The official explanation is that such formations arose as a result of natural processes, such as erosion or sedimentation, which led to the formation of unusual shapes. However, supporters of theories about the existence of a Martian civilization believe that such an explanation is just a way to hide the truth from the public. They argue that NASA deliberately does not disclose data on the real origin of the monoliths in order to avoid mass panic and questions about the possible existence of other civilizations in the universe. Another interesting aspect of the research in Gale Crater is the abnormal radiation activity recorded by Curiosity while passing near the monoliths. Some researchers believe that this may indicate that the monoliths contain special materials or even unknown technologies. According to this hypothesis, the monoliths could be markers or signaling devices left on Mars to emit radio signals into space or to serve as a protective function. They could also have been lighthouses of sorts, intended for navigation or for transmitting information. However, such assumptions remain hypotheses for now, as they require more detailed research that is currently impossible to carry out with the available technology. Interestingly, many earthly cultures have ancient myths about markers or obelisks that pointed to places of significant events or had a deep religious and spiritual meaning. For example, obelisks in Egypt were considered symbols of the connection between heaven and earth. Could the Martian monoliths have performed a similar function on Mars? Could ancient civilizations, if they existed on Mars, have left these signs to be found centuries later? Comparison with earthly analogs suggests that the idea of monuments that convey messages or serve as landmarks is universal across cultures and perhaps even across worlds. Against this background of interest, scientists have put forward a new hypothesis. Perhaps the monoliths were located at special coordinates indicating the energy nodes of the planet. A study of the gravitational field of Mars revealed that anomalies are observed in regions with monoliths, which may indicate the unusual nature of these objects. Similar energy nodes on Earth are often associated with places of power, such as Stonehenge or the pyramids of Giza, and could serve as places for rituals or scientific observations. To date, no direct evidence has been found that the Martian monoliths were created by aliens. Most official scientists are of the opinion that they are simply unique natural formations. However, independent researchers insist that we do not yet know all the secrets of Mars, and that new missions to the Red Planet may bring additional discoveries. With each new discovery, the interest of not only scientists but also the general public is growing, eager to learn more about possible civilizations on other planets. Are these Martian monoliths random stone pillars created by nature, or are they the remains of a majestic civilization that lived on Mars thousands of years ago? So far, this question remains open, and each new study fuels interest in solving this Martian mystery. Confirmation of the artificial origin of such objects could be the greatest discovery in human history, forcing us to rethink our place in the universe and the possibility of intelligent life on other planets. In the 70s of the last century, humanity first got the opportunity to see Mars in unprecedented detail when NASA launched the Viking 1 spacecraft, which sent the first high-quality images of the planet. Among the numerous photos transmitted from orbit, one of them is still viewed with particular interest today. The image showed the Cydonia Plateau, a place where a distinct face carved into the rock could be seen on the surface of Mars. This phenomenon was immediately called the face on Mars, or Martian Sphinx. This face attracted the attention of the public, scientists, and conspiracy theorists. Hypotheses explaining its origin ranged from natural erosion processes to possible artificial origin. The face was quite large, and its contours were very clear, with visible eyes, a nose, and a mouth looking up into the sky. Many suggested that it might have been similar to majestic earthly sculptures, such as the Sphinx in Egypt. At the time, people around the world began to fantasize about the possible existence of an ancient Martian civilization, and the face became a symbol of possible alien contact. The research on Cydonia continued, and many scientists began to speculate on the possibility of the existence of a civilization that once lived on Mars, and left traces of its culture in the form of monumental structures. In the 90s, NASA sent a new spacecraft to Mars called the Mars Global Surveyor, which took photographs of the region in even greater detail. The images showed the face from a different angle and under different lighting, which led some researchers to say that the face was simply the result of light and shadow. Others remained adamant that the new photos had been altered or that NASA was hiding the truth. The continued discussion of this mystery has reignited interest in the possible presence of alien cultures in Mars' past. Subsequently, it was hypothesized that the face on Mars could have been created as a landmark visible from space, or even have symbolic meaning for a civilization that probably lived on Mars thousands or even millions of years ago. Such assumptions have supported the theory that life on Mars could have originated long before ours. And if aliens did leave traces on the planet, this symbol could be some kind of message or even a monument. Some researchers point out that Martian civilization could have had a much different level of development than Earth's cultures, and the use of such monuments could have had ritual or practical significance. Interestingly, many terrestrial civilizations, such as the ancient Egyptian and Mayan, had monumental statues with faces facing the sky, or with a cosmic context. This has drawn parallels with the Martian Sphinx, and some researchers have suggested that there is a connection between ancient Earth cultures and a possible Martian civilization. Could the ancient Martians have left symbols that were later repeated on Earth? And if so, how could Earth's cultures have known about these Martian symbols? Some proponents of the theory of a connection with ancient civilizations believe that such signs could be transmitted through the millennia, remaining in the cultural memory of peoples and providing humanity with guidance about its past. In 2024, NASA announced that it was preparing for a new mission that would include a more detailed survey of the Cydonia Plateau using a state-of-the-art spacecraft with a powerful camera and analytical tools. The new images were expected to provide a clearer image of the face and surrounding regions. This has sparked a new wave of debate and interest among researchers who believe that NASA may have missed or even hidden important data from past missions. Many enthusiasts hope that new technologies will reveal additional details that will confirm their assumptions about the existence of an alien civilization on Mars. The results of the new mission raised many questions. Although the new images showed an even more detailed image of the face, its appearance remained mysterious. The resemblance to human features was less clear, but other geological formations around the face looked too regular to be natural. The images showed triangular and rectangular shapes that resembled the remains of buildings or architectural structures. Some of these formations, according to the researchers, could be the remains of ancient buildings or platforms that served some ritual or engineering purpose. These new findings make us think once again about what exactly might be hiding beneath the surface of the red planet. Some independent scientists and astronomers argue that if the face on Mars is indeed created by aliens, it may be only part of a much larger system of signals or markers left on the planet for future explorers. These markers, they speculated, could indicate the location of hidden objects or technologies beneath the surface of Mars. It could be a network of points located in key places on the planet, indicating energy nodes or important archaeological sites. The researchers also note that similar marker systems can be found on Earth, where they were used as ritual sites or as part of complex architectural complexes. Theorists studying ancient aliens emphasize that the mystery of the face on Mars may be related to numerous historical artifacts on Earth. They mention ancient stones with images of faces and obelisks that were erected by ancient peoples pointing to the sky. Could ancient civilizations have learnt about these Martian symbols, or received knowledge from other worlds? And what would a civilization that left these symbols on another planet look like? This question arouses curiosity and numerous debates, as some scholars believe that ancient cultures could receive information about other worlds through various spiritual or astronomical observations. So far, the question of the origin of the face on Mars and neighboring structures remains open. Proponents of the alien origin hypothesis believe that the discovery cannot be a mere coincidence, especially given its large size and clear resemblance to the human face. They hope that future missions that will explore Mars and potentially drill into the surface to investigate its underbelly will reveal new secrets and possibly confirm the existence of life that may have left its mark millions of years ago. New technologies, such as robotic platforms for drilling and analyzing subsurface rocks, could go a long way in finding answers. Is the face on Mars really a monument to another civilization that once lived on Mars? Or is it just a play of light and shadow that accidentally created the outlines we perceive as faces? The answer to this question remains a mystery, but curiosity about the face on Mars is only growing with each new mission to the red planet. Each new discovery brings more questions than answers, but it is these questions that fuel the human desire to explore and discover the unknown. While scientists plan future missions, public interest in the possible existence of ancient Martian cultures is not waning, but rather growing, supporting the dream that we are not alone in the universe.